using the Osmo camera involves setting the camera up, turning it on, and attaching your phone to it to use as a monitor. First of all, the battery is stored in the bottom, pulls out with this little tab at the bottom, and the battery goes in a separate charger, which slips into and plugs in with a special cord, like so. When you put the battery in, it only goes in one way. You want the contacts in first, obviously. Slide it in, close the little door. The Osmo has locks that lock the gimbal in place. So these, if you see, it's relatively rigid. When you sort of rotate these slightly out of place, there's little lock symbols on the side here and at the top. So you would loosen the lock here, loosen the lock here, and you can see now it sort of moves around more. Okay, it's what I find it's pretty difficult to get the lens cap off unless you do that first. So just sort of pry the lens cap off, loosen the sideways gimbal, loosen the vertical gimbal, and then at this point you can see where the SD card is. This is a mini SD card. So you can sort of push on that card to take it out. Then you can use a little mini reader here to put the card in. Right, so that's two of the locks. The third lock is on the side here, and it involves a little tiny slider here. So you sort of slide that one way or the other until it rotates like this. Now there's one additional lock down here. You really don't want to mess with this one at all. If you do, you can unlock it, and what it does is it takes the whole head off. So if you unlock that one by mistake and then start moving the camera around, you can lose the head and break it. So that's probably not a good one to unlock. You see it sort of spins around crazily, so it only goes in one way and then locks. So make sure you don't unlock this bottom one. Right, next is getting the app set up. So I'm just going to set the camera down for a second. The app comes in Mac, iOS, and Android settings. The first thing you want to do is realize that there's both a Wi-Fi setting and then an app setting as well. Okay, so if I try to do this with the camera not on, I won't be able to do the app setting. So here's how we get the camera, the phone loaded onto the stand. It comes in a little stand like this. It swings open. Swing these little ears out and sort of pivot these little ears around like so. And what that does is get it ready to accept your phone. So I'm going to go ahead and slip my phone in here now, like so. Right now, got the phone in there, got the camera going. There's a little slide switch here for the power. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on the little slide switch. That powers the camera up, and we see it spin around and sort of get ready. Alright, now I can do the Wi-Fi part. So come over here, access the Wi-Fi settings, set the Wi-Fi to Osmo. Now the default password for that is 12341234. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, and that gives me the Wi-Fi connection to the camera, and it's checked. Alright, the next thing to do is to go to the DJI app. DJI app sort of comes up, and then we'll skip the little setting here, and then here's the camera. Now the camera has several modes that are available on this little trigger setting in the very front. It's a little trigger mode here, and the trigger is not start and stop, which you would think would be the case, but it actually changes the way the camera centers. So 2 clicks will get it to center on wherever you're pointing. 1 click will sort of disengage it from its sensor setting. 3 clicks is a selfie mode. So I'm going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, and it should spin around and give me a selfie mode. Not that I really want that. 3 clicks again, spins it, should spin back around. Or 2, let's see, 2 does it. Okay. Now the next thing is that there's actually a pan and tilt thumb pad here. Right here is a little pan and tilt thumb pad, If I tilt this up and down, I can make the camera go up and down, or I can go left and right from my current setting. 2 clicks again on the trigger pad will recenter it wherever you're pointing. There's a little red power button here for recording, so I can click that to start recording. Click it again to stop. And when we click it, we see that we've got a little blinking red light there, and the little app indicates a recording symbol as well. Click the red button again, and the app goes back to a red circle and no blinking red here. Okay, we can also take pictures using this bottom button here. So if you just want to take a still picture, you just click that and it should do that. Okay, that takes a still picture. The app has settings as well that you can control all kinds of things: single picture, multiple pictures, panorama, interval, time lapse. There's all kinds of extra settings you can do in there for the picture mode. Okay. And that's pretty much it. The camera also has all kinds of, the app has all kinds of settings in here for setting the gimbal up and setting the camera parameters and all. But that's the basics. When you're done, what you want to do is push down the little power slider switch here, push and hold. The app should go off. Camera should go off basically. The app goes blank. We're going to turn and lock the gimbal in place again like so. I can remove the SD card at this point to go and transfer it to my computer, or I can lock the gimbal here and then turn and lock the gimbal here and put the lens cap back on. Okay, now to take the camera out, the iPhone out, and then we just slide these little guys back in place. Slide that up, and that's all packed and ready to go.